Use the given information to fill in the numbers of elements for each region of the Venn diagram. Now we're given this Venn diagram right here, and then we're given information that we will use to fill in these missing components here. In other words, we're going to determine what numbers goes into each one of the regions in the Venn diagram. And we're going to start with this first one. This is the number of A intersect B intersect C is equal to 9. This number right here is the cardinality, in other words, the number of elements in the set. Now when we talk about the intersection of A, B, and C, what we're talking about is the overlap, where all three of these overlap. And this is the area where all three overlap. Because if you look very carefully at this, you have this circle, which is A. Then you have this circle, which is B. And then you have this circle, which is C. And when they overlap, this is the area in which they do so. So W is going to be equal to 9. And that's this right here. So we go ahead and say that W is equal to 9. And we can go ahead and put that value right there. Then we'll go to the next one. This is going to be the number of C intersect B complement. Now, when we look at this, C is this circle right here. Okay. B complement is going to be everything outside of this circle. So B complement outside of the blue circle. Once that happens, that means that I'm looking at everything that is outside of the blue circle. And what I want to find is where it overlaps. Where does B complement overlap C? And the only area for that is going to be in this area right here. That means that Y and P are contained in C intersect B complement. So I would have Y plus P is equal to 19. Now I'm going to need to figure out what either Y is or what P is to figure out what the other one is. And we're going to continue on like this. The next one that we'll look at is going to be the number of A complement intersect B complement intersect C complement. Now in order to do this, it gets really tricky, so I'm going to bring in another program and I'm going to use the color feature to go ahead and do this. Now first off, let's decide what A complement is. A complement is going to be everything that is outside of A. That's A complement. Okay? Then we're going to decide what B complement is. B complement is everything that's outside of B. So now, when I do B complement, everything outside of B, that's what it looks like. And we will go ahead and show B complement. And then there's C complement. C complement is going to be, everything that is outside of C. And so now I have to figure out where the intersection of everything that's outside of A is, everything that's outside of B is, and everything that's outside of C is. And if you were paying close attention, you realize that this purple region, and we'll go ahead and change it so that it's not confusing, this region here is outside of A, it's outside of B, and it's also outside of C, and that's the only overlap. Therefore, we have R as our value. So we'll go back into this program, and we know that R is equal to 5. So I can put 5 right here. The next one is the number of A intersect B. That's going to be where A and B overlap. Let's go back to this program, and we can look at it real carefully. Alright, here's A, and then here's B. Now the only area where both of them intersected or overlapped was right here in X and W. So that means that X plus W is equal to 12. So we'll go ahead and write that down. But we already know what W is. It's 9. So that means that I can go ahead and say that X plus 9 is equal to 12. Therefore, X is equal to 3. And I can write that in this area right here. Next, we're going to look at the intersection of A and C, and that's going to be equal to 15. Now, using the same logic that we applied before, we can see that the overlap between circle C, which is this one right here, and circle A, which is this one right here, is going to be this region right in here, Y and W. So I know that Y plus W is equal to 15, but I also know that W is equal to 9, so I simply subtract 9 from 15, and I get Y is equal to 6. And so I can write that in here. Then we're going to go to the next part, and that says the number of B intersect C is equal to 16. So we're going to use the same logic we've been using. We take circle B, and then we look at the overlap with circle C. And we see that the overlap in these two is W and Z. So therefore I know that W plus Z is equal to 16. But I also know that W is equal to 9. Therefore, Z will be equal to 7. And I can write that in here. Then we'll go to the next statement, which is the number of A intersect B complement. Okay, A intersect B complement. We're going to use the same logic here that we had used on this one right here. So we're looking at everything that's outside of B intersecting with A. And if you want to use this program again, we'll go ahead and reset it. And we're going to find A. Well, where is A? A is this red circle here. And then we want to find B complement. Well, B complement is everything that's outside of B. So we notice that this area right here is the intersection of A and B complement, which is the regions M and Y. So now we can go back to our program, and we can look at this and say, okay, M plus Y is equal to 22. Now, we already know what Y is. It's 6. So we'll subtract 6 from 22, and we'll get M is equal to 16. And we'll place that number right here. Then we're still looking for N and P. And if we go back up to this one, we know that Y is equal to 6. So 19 minus 6 will be 13, so therefore P is equal to 13, and I can write that here. Now, one of the things that you could be doing, if this makes it easier, is to go ahead and write the numbers in the regions as you figure them out, and it might help you to better associate all the values with your regions. We found out that M is 16, and we know that P is 13. So we're looking for this last piece, which is N, and that's going to be B intersect A complement. So we're going to be looking at the same notations that we were looking at before. We'll reset this. Let's go ahead and find B intersect A complement. Now remember, B is this circle here. A complement is everything that's outside of A. And you'll notice that the only place where they overlap is right here at N and Z. So therefore, we can say that N plus Z is equal to 31, but we know that Z is 7, so we'll subtract 7 from 31 and get 24 for N. And we can write that in here, and we can write that up here. And now we have completed the problem.